So there's this video that has been circulating online a couple months ago with Heather Locklear that left everyone very shocked, very disturbed. And I won't show the video out of respect for her. And if you've ever dealt with family who has like mental health issues or substance use issues, you want to protect their image. So I'm going to do that for her. I don't like to show the worst of these women when I do breakdowns for them, but it was pretty sad when I saw it. It broke my heart because I just stumbled upon that. I didn't, because she hasn't been in the radar for a very long time. And when I saw this, it really broke my heart because I'm like, what happened? You know, she was talking to herself in the video. She was walking on a ledge of a building with her flip-flops, just looked completely out of it, inebriated. And the whole time her fiance was waiting for her in a car, not knowing what she was doing. There was instances she was sprinting. And like, you know, you just could tell that she was out of it. And I never knew that Heather Locklear was battling for so long with substance use and things like that. I didn't know that. I just know her from like Melrose Place, which is like a feel-good show that I watch. I like watching like older shows that just makes you feel so good, and Dynasty and stuff. This is just the image I keep of her in my mind, just this gorgeous blonde with beautiful smile and beautiful eyes, full of life and very humble in her interviews. It was just sad to see that. It left me questioning what causes these stars to all have similar stories and downward spirals. Like they all start off so beautiful and fresh throughout the years, and it's so heartbreaking to witness how most of them just decline, and it's only a lucky few that actually make it out, you know, untouched. And it just makes you wonder, what is happening? Why do they have so much access to so much? Of course, it's the money, power, fame, but it's just a lot, right? We are going to get into all of this, but first, hey friend, welcome to my channel, Crane Allude, where we deep dive and break down the most iconic stars through history. If you're not yet subscribed, please be sure to do so. And if you're already subscribed, please turn on your notification bell so you never miss an upload. Now let's get into this video. Let's start first from the beginning. Let's get into her childhood. Heather Locklear's origin story could be the lyrics to a Heartland rock ballad. September 25th, 1961, a baby girl is born and raised in the comfy suburbs of San Fernando Valley, the daughter of Diane, a production executive, and Bill Locklear, an administrator at the University of California, Los Angeles, aka UCLA. He was also a former colonel in the United States Marine Corps. Heather was a good kid, loved her folks, she loved her parents. And her parents were all about lessons in learning, faith, and patriotism. Her dad, a former Marine, was all about that. But even the best kids find some trouble. At just 6 years old, Heather was already showing signs of her future star power. As told in her unauthorized biography, little Heather managed to charm her way out of getting a spanking. Not only did she dodge, getting a spanking that day, but she also convinced her parents to forever never spank her. So she, spoke them into why she should never get spanking at just 6 years old. High school wasn't exactly a walk in the park for Heather. She claims she was a nobody, no popularity, no cheerleading, not even a clear complexion. She was often teased for being flat-chested, but she had a long-term boyfriend with whom she broke up and then got back together on prom night. Then, like a fairy tale, Heather blossomed into a swan at UCLA, where her dad just happened to be the dean of admissions. Her dreams of strutting down a supermodel runway was crushed because she was very short, 5'5", but her dad managed to get her a modeling gig for the university's bearwear clothing catalog. Heather Locklear is now a household name thanks to her role as Amanda Woodard on Melrose Place. And comment below your favorite from her. I love her in a Looney Tunes movie also. My favorite is Melrose Place. She playing Amanda, just top tier. Comment below your favorite roles from her or your favorite moment from her. Melrose Place earned her 4 consecutive Golden Globe nominations for Best Actress, Television Series Drama. She first stepped into the limelight playing Sammy Jo Carrington on Dynasty from 1981 to 1989, kickstarting a long-term collaboration with producer Aaron Spelling. She's also known for her roles as Officer Stacey Sheridan on T.J. Hooker and Caitlin Moore on Spin City, which earned her 2 more Golden Globe nominations. She also had a recurring role on the TV Land sitcom Hot in Cleveland and a main role on the TNT drama drama comedy television series Franklin and Bash in 2013. Her film roles include the sci-fi thriller Firestarter, the action comedy Money Talks, the live-action animated comedy Looney Tunes Back in Action. I loved her in that. And the romantic comedy The Perfect Man, which was very good also. Now, Heather Locklear had a very tumultuous dating life. Let's get into that. Our angelic actress tumbled head over heels in love with the bad boy of rock and roll, Tommy Lee, the drummer of Motley Crue. Now, Tommy's band was considered by some to be the devil's music, and one of his songs even made the infamous Filthy 15 list. But Heather, ever the charmer, quipped, "Tommy doesn't worship the devil, he worships me." But unfortunately, he really did not worship her. But their honeymoon phase hit a low note faster than you can say Motley Crue. While vacationing in the Cayman Islands just after their wedding, the two had such a massive fight that the cops were called in to calm things down. The couple eventually found some kind of rhythm, but it wasn't all roses. Tommy and Heather turned out to be quite the pair, matching each other shot for shot of Jack Daniels. They both was drinking a lot, partying a lot together, and one may say that that's probably where her drinking problems started. This was surprising because during her early days on Dynasty, Heather didn't even know how to play drunk. For certain scenes, she didn't even know how to play a drunk. So that goes to show you that maybe her drinking problems did start with Tommy. Things got darker when whispers started about Tommy's rough treatment of Heather and his rumored infidelities. Despite it all, their roller coaster marriage managed to last 7 whole years, thanks to Heather's efforts. She even convinced Tommy to go for marriage counseling and AA meetings. Yeah, so Tommy was also allegedly hitting on her, aggressively, and he was cheating a lot, and partying a lot. And she just was not happy. And even her dog, she came home one day, found her dog dead, and thought that Tommy, had his dog do it and stuff like that. It was just a really dark 7 years for her. But she started off so confident and young and naive with romance, but it just was a dark 7 years for her. But after their divorce, Heather found love again with another rock star, Richie Sambora from Bon Jovi. They tied the knot in romantic Paris. The couple had a daughter, Ava Elizabeth, which is her only child. It was a gorgeous girl, looks just like her mother. But this relationship hit rocky shores when Heather found suggestive photos in Richie's email, and I feel like this kind of really played on her mental. Rumor has it that the provocative pictures were sent by Heather's so-called friend, Denise Richards. Heartbroken, Heather filed for divorce. Come on, they were friends now, okay? But life goes on, and so did Heather's love life. When she filed for divorce, guess what? Sambora went on to date Denise Richards shortly after. So it was kind of like the ultimate disrespect. Imagine what that would do to your mental, okay? But life goes on, and so did Heather's love life. She got engaged to a Melrose Place co-star, Jack Wagner, but they call it quits before walking down the aisle. And a twist of fate, Heather reconnected with her high school sweetheart, Chris Heiser, a former motocross racer. They got engaged in 2020, but according to many sources, he was a whole criminal with an extensive rap sheet of fraud, identity theft, and forgery, and he himself battles substance use issues. And, it's just, I don't know. Heather has just been making some questionable decisions in terms of picking men. She loves the bad boys. She loved that energy, but it has not been good for her. And they're still together today. According to many sources. No disrespect, she loves what she loves, but it's if you're struggled with sobriety, it's probably not best for both of them to date each other if they both struggle with it. The blind cannot lead the blind. That's just me. But let's talk about her sobriety. It's a quiet day in March 2008 when a chilling 911 call comes in. The caller claims to be Heather Locklear's doctor. Fear in his voice as he says Heather is trying to harm herself. The dispatch wastes no time and sending emergency responders to her home. But Heather's publicist later says that Locklear never asked for any medical help. The local sheriff department also chimed in, saying that when they arrived at her house, Heather seemed just fine. They did admit, though, that they thought the call was real. Fast forward to June 24, 2008, Heather checks into a healthcare in Arizona. She's dealing with some heavy stuff, anxiety and depression. She wanted a complete check on her meds to make sure they're doing their job right. Her agents come from the news. Heather's wrestling with both anxiety and depression. After 4 weeks of treatment, she heads back home on July 23rd, 2008. But life throws another curveball her way. In September 2008, a California Highway Patrol officer pulls her over on suspicions of drunk driving. You see, Heather was driving all over the place near Santa Barbara. On November 17, 2008, she gets charged with one misdemeanor count of DUI, but here's the thing. Her blood test came back clean. No booze or illegal drugs. But Lee Carter, a deputy district attorney, thinks that her prescription meds for anxiety and depression might have messed up her driving. Jump to January 12, 2012. Heather's sister dials 911, scared that Heather might be in danger after mixing prescription substances with alcohol. Heather gets rushed to Los Robles Hospital in Thousand Oaks, California. By the next day, she's reported to be out of danger. Her parents have gone to her house before when she was acting erratically, and she attacked them by choking her mom and kicking her dad. And police were called and they had to practically yank her off of them. This is a woman, like we said, who loves her parents so much that she said she always wanted to marry a man like her father. So substances will make even your loved ones seem like enemies. And this is similar to the video I did for Fergie. Fergie's story is so inspirational, If you haven't seen that yet, check that out. I'll put it in the comment section pinned for you guys. But this story reminds me a lot of that, how the substances will really play with your mind. So Heather gets arrested for DV and battery against a cop. She's slapped with one felony count of DV and 3 misdemeanor counts of battery on a police officer. When the cop shows up at her house, she allegedly kicks 3 of them and threatens to shoot them if they dare to come back. Heather's brother had called the cops after finding her arguing with her boyfriend, and after being released on a $20,000 bond the next morning, her boyfriend Chris Heiser gets arrested for DUI. You see, they're not good for each other. In June 2018, Heather gets arrested again, this time for 2 counts of battery. The very next day, right after getting out on bail, she lands in the hospital due to a suspected overdose. In August 2019, she pleads no contest to the charges from the arrest and is sentenced to 30 days in a mental health facility. Fast forward to April 2020, Heather shares on Instagram that she's been sober for a year. She's been treated for addiction 20 times. But in July 2023, as was stated, the New York Post publishes pictures of Heather acting strange and talking to herself in public, sparking rumors that she might be drinking again. When she leaves a building, she keeps Heiser waiting in his car, walks along the ledge of the building, and then sprints across the street. There are also whispers that she's on Ozempic for weight loss, and that's not going too well as she had adverse reactions to it. And so this just goes to show she has really great PR also, because a lot of times where she could have really gotten into trouble, they got her out of it, gave her a slap on the wrist, and she was able to walk scot-free. But the thing with being a celebrity, it's really hard to hold them accountable so that they can actually save their lives and change. How many times you've heard of a very well-polished celebrity hit a car in a hit and run, or they just drive off or get into accidents all the time, and then it just disappears the next day, and no one talks about, the substance behind the scenes. It seems like all of them are taking something to cope. But all the things that comes out about Hollywood, I can understand why you're coping. Heather has had some photos with some questionable people, and she was a party girl, especially with Tommy. It's a lot that goes on. It's a lot, and we never know anyone's full stories. I send her a prayer and send her some well wishes in the comments and hope she gets better. The love of her daughter, Ava, was what helped her to sober up around 2018 or 2019. I really want her for her daughter to, and for herself first, and for her daughter second, to just get better, because sources say it has been very tough on her family, her brother, her parents, her daughter, and I think they really do love her. And they have tried to send her to rehab and everything, and they really love her, still think that she's beautiful and capable, so much talent and potential there, and she just has to fight these demons, and shake this off, because it's been years. It's been long years battle, and I just wanted to end well for her, and I'm sending her some well wishes. Don't forget to check out my Fergie video. Comment below your thoughts. If you like the music or listen to, the link is in the description. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.